$900 dues? Tobias! Did you accept a 6-hour collect call from the States?
It was an emergency call from the International Drainage Commission in Springfield.
Oh, my God! There's nothing wrong with the bidet, is there?
Hello?
Right, I'm calling all the way from Squatters Crag, Australia, and I want to speak to, Dr. Bat Simpson right now.
Hold, please.
All right, but I don't...
Payroll, Bert Stanton speaking.
Oi! I said Bat Simpson. What kind of a company is this?
Bart Simpson's office?
Oh, thank the great good Lord. Look, I was just...
One moment, please.
Who do they think I am? Some stupid Aussie drongo? Bleeding Yanks. I oughta...
This is Bart Simpson. Can I help you, ma'am?
Yeah, hey! My name is Bruno Drundridge, right? You owe me $900, mate.
No, you owe me $900.
You're just some punk kid, aren't you? You picked the wrong guy to tangle with here, mate.
I don't think so. You're all the way in Australia. Hey, I think I hear a dingo eating your baby.
Yeah, well, oh, that's it. I'm gonna report this to me member of Parliament. Hey, Gus! I got something to report to you.
That's a bloody outrage, it is. I want to take this all the way to the Prime Minister. Hey, Mr. Prime Minister! Andy!
Aye, mate. What's a good word?
Okay. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah. Everyone's here. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the WAM show on Radio Monash. I'm your host, Cameron Allen.
Hi, Cameron.
Hi.
And with
And
the
I'm
other
an
host.
alcoholic.
Hello.
Hello, my name is Stephen, and I'm an alcoholic.
Okay, you're an alcoholic. Anyway, this is a very special WAM show today. Today we have our editor,
A very special guest.
James McDonald, here today.
I'm not very special. I've been on... Not
On
a
top of
person,
the
and
time-
I've been on 3 episodes.
On top of the time he takes to edit the mess that is put on YouTube. Well, the beautiful mess. He's taking the extra time to actually be in it today.
Yeah. And
So,
I get a
yeah.
script this time for the. Thank God.
Welcome to the show, James. Once more.
Thank you for having me again.
It's an honor to have the great James McDonald on the show.
I wouldn't say great. I'd say
So how was everyone's day today?
fine.
So is that really what you're going to start with? Is that the best you...
How's the weather?
We have our resident trolley pusher over here, and that's what you're going to start with?
Yeah.
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 All right, I'll start. First question, right?
Yeah.
This is your half of the show, Stephen.
What do you mean?
What happened during your week? It's Steven's thoughts.
Stephen's...
No.
No, this is Stephen's fault, right? So your profession is as a trolley pusher for Coles, right?
Yes, after editing for the WAM show, yeah.
That's your secondary passion. I get it. We'll have to hustle to get by.
Yeah.
But how much coins are you picking up daily? Like, are you going around like Mario, or are you like? Is it scarce out there?
Funny enough, it depends on like the day and which shopping center. Since the one I go to, like Ringbank, usually there's a lot of old people that hang around that shopping center, and a lot of them, they can't be bothered to like put the trolleys back, which is a pain for me. But usually they just leave their coins in. So on days when there's like a lot of old people hanging around, so during the school days, then that's when I get my most coins. My record was about... Yeah, you're allowed to keep it.
What's your record?
My record was about, I think, $27 in coins.
Over what period of time was that?
I think it was a 9-hour workday, so...
Oh, that's
I had
nothing
a lot
then.
of time.
It was
what
like,
time-
I scored $27 in 2 hours. Like, you just doubled your pay.
Yeah.
But over 9 hours of trolley pushing, well...
Was that like Christmas? Or
I think it was around Christmas, yeah.
or
It
did
might have
just
been
feel like this?
it might have been New Year's Day.
Okay, so how much do you hate the new those little coins you can buy from the shop for like $2 for the trolleys?
I don't mind because most people
It's
forget
reducing
a
your
lot
bottom
of.
line.
I mean, it is, but a lot of people just forget they leave them in there. So I just get I've got like so many plastic coins, you have no idea.
Okay, so here's a Stevens thought. Like, why don't you start your own business selling bootleg trolley coins, and you stand on the side and be like, oh, 50 cents. Right.
Buy coins
Honestly, I
from the
probably
trolley
could,
pusher
but
himself.
usually I just like give them back to the store, so they because the store people like they don't have their own key for the trolleys usually because they keep losing it, so they just have a bunch of plastic coins that they can just give out.
All I'm saying is, like, everyone's got to hustle, and you're really missing out on an opportunity
I know.
to flex that business degree arm you have going.
What's really annoying is that like when I'm working and I see random people, they also have trolley keys that they've just ordered online.
You could actually memorize those, like those little fucking metal things you stick in and it doesn't even stay in.
Yeah.
Madness.
Yeah.
And then
Like,
you're pushing around trolleys which like are empty, don't have any gold in there.
what was really like painful is I think it was a couple weeks back they stopped doing it where we had to leave all the trolleys open, and when that rule was in place, it was hell because people would just leave their trolleys everywhere because they had no coins in the trolley, so I'd just leave it on the streets. There were a bunch of cars that just got hit by trolleys.
So what do you mean by open?
The
I don't
chaos.
understand the trolley pushing lingo.
So you've got
Put it
the
in
chain.
layman's terms
You've got
for
you've
us
got the
experts.
chains of the trolleys that connect to each other. So that if you want to unlock the chain, you have to put a coin in. But the rule was that we didn't connect the chains, and we had to leave all the trolleys open so anyone could take a trolley without putting in any coins. So people were just getting the trolleys and then leaving them outside because they didn't have any coin to take out.
Okay, what's the what was the motivation for this move?
I think it was just mainly just for sanitizing reasons, like maybe. I don't know what it was. It was a really dumb move, but I'm thinking just something around coronavirus, or maybe it would just have more people going into the store. No clue.
So I live in an area near a supermarket, right? And you find trolleys everywhere. You walk by. I walk by at least two of them, and I'm a good few kilometers away, right?
Yeah, I've got PTSD. Every time I drive to work or like I drive somewhere else, I just notice trolleys that are just laying around in parks. I'm like, how do they get there?
You're an inside man, okay? So explain to me, do they have like a group of people like you that just drive around picking them up, or has it just gone from that point?
No, they've got a mute because I think the stores might get fined if they find trolleys outside by like the Bring Back Council or something. Since if they're outside of the shopping centre, they're considered basically rubbish.
Who hasn't walked home from school with a group of friends and found a trolley and then put one of your mates inside there and played Mario Kart?
I mean, that is a classic.
And then one of your friends will be like, this is illegal, we can't do this. But you'll keep pushing that trolley.
Oh, one time we were on a drunk escapade heading over to bloody McDonald's, alright? And we found a briefcase.
Briefcase.
We just started carrying it around, like we didn't even open it. It's fucking filthy as shit. And we're just carrying around this old briefcase for a good 10 minutes on the way to McDonald's. I don't know what happened.
Whatever happened to carrying briefcase? People don't do it as often now, do they?
People still like carry around briefcases. I feel like it's
I feel like
backpack town now.
Yeah, it's more people wear backpacks instead of briefcase.
Man, imagine being Khan bringing a briefcase to school.
Nerd.
Briefcase wanker.
I mean, briefcases can be pretty fashionable, maybe stylish.
I mean, if you have like a nice leather one, right? Sure. But if you have one of those carrier bags made of like fabric.
Yeah, well, you got to go all out if you want to carry a briefcase. I think get a nice leather one.
Yeah.
I mean, backpacks are just better than everything else. Like, I wore a carry bag for 3 months, then changed to a backpack, never going back. You just carry more, and you don't just get sore on one arm.
What if you carry the briefcase like a baby,
I mean, you could do that, but I mean, business suitcases are usually professional, so I don't know how professional looking that is.
Okay, how about this, right? You get a briefcase, you chuck 2 straps on it. It's a briefcase you can carry when you want to look flash, or you can just chuck it on your back for your day-to-day commute.
That's actually a good idea. I think they've got like something like that for kids when they're like traveling and stuff.
Like one of those
for
scooter
Yeah.
bags.
Yeah,
There's nothing
with,
more
like,
embarrassing than seeing, like, I feel so embarrassed for the parents that have like their bloody kids on scooter bags riding around the airport.
Oh God, it's so stupid.
What if there's a briefcase that you could like split in half into 2 pieces and then carry them on both arms? So both arms get sore instead of one.
What double bag? That I feel like that's just such a power move, rocking up to like a business meeting carrying 2 briefcases. Why do you need so much storage? Why don't you just get a backpack? I don't know. How are you meant to open doors?
Gentlemen, and you click the switch to open it twice, just like.
Or you click it 4 times. It's just that'd be so intimidating. What's in the briefcase? What is in so much space? What's he bringing to this meeting?
It just brings nothing. It just
God.
sabotage. That's a bit.
But you have to keep them separate because you want one to be refrigerated and the other to be room temperature.
So yeah, I think that's as far as I can go. Briefcases. You got
Yeah,
anything
keeping
else?
it a bit brief.
I mean, or haven't carried a briefcase in a while.
Where would you be carrying a briefcase to, bloody?
I mean,
Trolley
The
push.
nerd convention. You nerd. Oh,
oh, Comic-Con's not running this year. What are you talking about?
imagine double briefcasing your way to Comic-Con.
Double.
That's how you get put on a watch list.
Anyway, Stephen, we've reached a train station on train chats, and we're waiting for you to take us to tell us where we're going. Where we
What do you
heading.
mean? Well, should we chuck on a song before we go on
No,
to
like what else have you got in store here? I can see a list here, but
what do you mean?
on Stephen's week.
Stephen's week.
Otherwise, I'm going to ask James about Grim Tales.
Okay, let's jump right into Stephen's week as I slowly
Wait,
stall for time as I open the document.
That wasn't Stephen's week. What was that?
I was just
No, I was just asking James about his. I was just curious.
All right.
I was just
I
getting a bit of a background into the thought process and fully, deeply understanding our guest, as any
hope
good host to a
everyone-
show would.
Yeah. I hope everyone understands.
I feel like you're
James,
really.
really relate to him.
I'm a very shallow
You gotta
person,
have to
don't worry.
understand the mindset. Like, just picture this. It's like 20 degrees outside, like 30 degrees, and you're pushing a trolley up to the supermarket. That's his job every day. He does that for 9 hours straight. How would that make you feel?
I mean, I respect that.
I've been nearly hit by cars so many times.
But like, also, like, how do you feel about like with one trolley? You know how you sometimes get a shit trolley, and
Yeah.
you can just like slide it across and like grab another one. James can't. It's his job to put even the worst trolleys back.
Oh God.
Am I bringing dark thoughts back to you? Am I? It's just
Just imagine like you're pushing 11 trolleys like up a slope, and then some random person just pushing an Aldi trolley just comes by here and just shoves it at the front of your trolleys.
Wait, all the trolleys are the same? They're not standardized?
No. No, they're
Wait,
all
so,
different.
okay, wait. So is there competition on like trolley pushes? Is like an Audi one, like a Coles one?
Yeah, there's people who push Aldi trolleys, people who push like the Target trolleys, and
Is there any competition there? Because I'd feel like that would be like a service provided by the
Nah.
shopping center. But
if anything, the other trolley pushers have treated me more nicely than the other Coles workers.
okay, let's get a bit of a background into this, right? What kind of person is attracted to the trolley pushing lifestyle?
Honestly, it's just like I think I'm the youngest there. The other guys are just like
Silver
20.
foxes, huh? Pushing the wool.
Yeah, 25, 26.
George Clooney pushing trolleys. Is that 26? That's like ancient. What do you mean?
Okay, so to be 26. Do these guys are just doing it like as a side as they study or something, or is this just their end game?
I think one of the guys I work with is doing it as their side, but I don't know about the other two. But like the other guy, he works like I think 30 hours a week, but he gets really good pay. So
Wait, so there's different pay depending on who pushes the trolleys.
for Coles, yeah, because that guy's been working for about 2 years and he's gotten a pay rise since he's like, I think because trolleys falls into Coles services, so if he's the manager of the store for services.
So he became the manager of the trolley pushers, and now he's making the same income
Right.
as someone who works within the store and is a manager.
Yep.
Do you know what? That's insane.
Wait, so I'm trying to understand here. He got a pay rise, so he was already underpaid, so now he receives regular pay, right?
Yeah. Although I wouldn't say trolleys is even that underpaid.
He now receives the legal minimum. But we told him it was a pay rise.
I mean, we're kind of lucky since we actually got a pay rise, even though we're in Rona.
I mean, isn't that how it should be? Because you're getting more customers and everything.
I mean, yeah, it's because it's Coles. We're definitely getting more customers and probably due for a pay rise. But yeah, there's better than how others are doing.
All right. Let's get it there. We'll come back after whatever song Cameron decides to chuck on.
Let's look.
Just don't make it beat it, or any song that goes for like 5 minutes. Because
I'll play
Fallout Boy.
Fallout Boy. Yeah,
Oh,
I'll play
no.
Fallout
That's
Boy.
embarrassing.
Fallout 4? Oh crap, I spelled boy wrong. Boy. I can't see it. I have to type the stupid title he has for the song. Can he not spell "Thanks for the Memories" properly, or what does he have like a list? Like who spells it THNKS? Whatever, I don't care. Thanks for the
trying to
Memories
be
by
hip.
Fallout Boy. Well, he wasn't being hip. He probably
That's
didn't go
why
to
it's
school.
embarrassing to be playing this song right now. Hey, Ron. Welcome back to the WAM show.
That was Fallout Boy. I wonder if he got back up.
I hope he.
It isn't Fall Down Boy, it's Fall Out Boy.
That's right.
I wonder if he got back in.
There we go.
Why? Did he have a falling out?
I don't know. Probably it's like one of those teenage girl bands. So it's probably definitely happened.
Fallout Boy. But if he was a K-pop group.
You know what? Moving on. We're gonna start with a exciting segment. Deep in what's the term I'm looking for? It's very close to my heart. It's Steven's Week.
Let's go!
It needs an intro, like.
I mean, I thought we had a name for it. It was like Steven's Train Chats or something. But
Steven's Train Chats. Well, we have to write these things down, don't we?
I mean, in the document it says Steven's Week as sad face in bold.
I'm being realistic, Cameron. Most people like that. Anyway, so fundamentally, the idea of this segment is back in the day we used to catch a train in together every once in a while. It's a good time to catch up, but because of the K-Rona, we've lost that opportunity, and I feel like we're drifting apart a bit, Cameron. Oh. So throughout the week, I do some thinking, surprisingly, and anything that seems kind of interesting, I write down, and I want to see if we can bullshit an entire segment based entirely on that.
Yeah.
Entirely on his thoughts.
Instead of doing that for the whole 60 minutes, we have now shortened it to 10 to 15 minutes.
It's a more realistic goal. As I said, keeping things realistic is how you don't disappoint.
Setting the bar nice and low for us.
Okay, starting off, right. Have you seen the news? Do you ever look at the news and like every week there's a bloody huge queue outside of Aldi, like boomers going mad, because they had a big special buyers promotion and they only had like 4 items in the store and 100 people standing outside.
I have never seen that, but I've
Do you-
only. Hey,
Just agree with me, mate.
all right. Yeah, I've seen it. I was there. I was actually in the queue with all of them.
I was
It
actually
was the
on
Audi.
television. I was actually pushing trolleys in the background of one of the shots.
Yeah, if you look real close, it's me. You see it.
Basically, the fundamental idea is right. They just pull out some random shit every week. Like the other week, they started selling barbecue stuff. We got a barbecue been using like so many times, right? One week they have vacuum cleaners. I don't know what's going on there, right? So at what point do special buyers go too far? Like what could they sell as a special promotion, which would be like, what the hell are you doing?
I mean, they could start selling Woolworths exclusives. Alright.
That would be an
Special
impressive
buy.
move. Special buyers. We're just going to be Coles for the weekend.
The manager just comes down to you. He's like, mate, can you run down to the nearest Woolies and just grab the chicken twisties? And we'll just chuck them up as a special buy.
You literally just see employees walking from Coles, carrying items and marking it up. If they're going to think of something to sell that week.
Well, the good thing about Audi is it's cheaper than the its competitors because they sell non-branded stuff, or they own all the brands that they're selling.
Well, I think that's a bit of a misconception, though. Because if you ever go to Woolworths or Coles, their home brands are about equivalent pricing to the Audi brands. However, most people who go to those stores end up buying the brand names and then get surprised when it costs more than Audi. That's just my conspiracy. That's another Steven Sport you can think of.
No, Audi is definitively cheap.
Definitively?
They cut a lot of costs by
I mean,
making everything home brand.
the taste is definitely cheaper, like and the quality.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's
you
an example.
sacrifice
Here's an
yourself.
example of their products. You know the old Redstone Deli chips?
Yeah,
Everyone knows them, everyone loves them, right?
Yeah.
Audi sells their own take on the product. Guess its name.
Oh no.
Red Rock Delahaye.
Red Colonel or something.
Alright, I'll tell you what it is. Bluestone Deli. They literally took a competitor's name, put it in a synonym generator, and just let rip.
It's
And they
blue
haven't
for
been
Audi.
sued.
Well, speaking of getting sued, have you seen this Hungry Jack's promotion?
The Big Jack.
The Big Jack, they literally took the idea of the Big Mac, made it slightly bigger, and then called it the Big
No.
Jack.
Or slightly bigger. They've made it mega. Mega Jack.
Mega Jack.
Now, looking at that, right, you'd be like, oh, they're going to get sued. The next thing you know, they're getting sued, and there's another series of ads
Just making fun
bragging
of
about
it.
how they're getting sued.
Honestly,
Like,
that's a power move.
I'm very impressed. Like, how did they manage that? Like, who managed to climb their way up the company to be able to pull that shit?
Like, oh, that's so good.
I
Hungry
wish they
Jack's
could
tastes
back it.
awful, but
Yeah, I wish they
Nah.
could back it up with taste.
I disagree. I think Hungry Jack's has a higher ceiling than McDonald's, but McDonald's is more consistent between stores.
It really depends on the Hungry Jack's store you go to.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you go to the right place, sometimes you just get greeted with like this wonderful little Whopper in a box, right? And it's the best burger you've eaten, right?
The best Hungry Jack's I've been to is like the one near Flinders Street. I think that's like the top. But McDonald's has really good quality control around the whole block. Everywhere you go, it's the same.
around the whole world, like going
Oh.
to India and like
Yeah, whole world.
McDonald's is still just McDonald's.
Minus the beef.
Like they control everything from the very start. Like they make what the people have to do in the restaurant as little as possible, so that they
Well,
can't.
they're fundamentally just a teenage, like a tween squad of microwavers.
twin squad of slaves.
They're basically just child labor microwaving force.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who then just get replaced after they graduate.
Wait, what? Yeah. Anyway.
Moving on.
But the
Moving on
Big Jack,
swiftly.
the Big Jack is different. I think it's different. It's,
Oh,
it is different because it's like the meat is grilled, right? Or it has the Hungry Jack's kind of meat.
yeah,
Whether
the
you like
flying
whether you
grill
like it or
flavor.
not.
It's perfect when it's done well, but the problem is it really is.
Yeah, but when it isn't, you cry a little bit. And the onions at Hungry Jack's are like more chunkier, whereas at McDonald's they're like
They're like little dices.
abysmal pieces. So that's how they're different. And the sauce is a bit sweeter. It's a bit sweeter than the Big Mac.
All right, cool. Let's move on to my next. This was a personal experience of mine. Right, picture this. Right, the class is going a little overtime. It's about 7:05. Was meant to be finished at 7, and the TA is doing a quick wrap up. Right, because they know it's a bit late. They know they have to wrap up quickly, and then someone comes out with one of these. You just hear over the microphone. I have a quick question. And you know everything's going downhill from there. It takes 5 minutes for this person to express a question, which becomes like a stuttering mess. And it's bad because it always ends with like, I don't know if that makes sense. Or like, I don't know if I explained that right. And clearly the TA doesn't know what the hell is going on, what was just said. So they're like, oh, they politely ask them to explain further, which then goes into a further explanation about, you know what?
Yep. And she still doesn't understand. She just repeats the whole tutorial and it just goes on forever.
No, they just make up. You know what? I'm getting flashbacks. Can someone? I don't know what you guys can take this, but it really hurt me.
Do you prefer that the person had asked the question as soon as they had thought of it in the moment, or they wait till the end to keep everyone back?
Well, the thing is, right, the TA always stays like a little after for individual questions. Because that's the general idea, right? They stay a little after. No one stays anyway, but...
Yeah, me and James went to like this online workshop for Eng. And then the guy's like, yeah, I can stay back up until like 5 o'clock. And like the thing finished at like 2:30.
And everyone, like, no one asked any questions.
That's impressive dedication, I have to say.
It was quite dedicated, I guess.
I'm just in pain right now, just thinking of it, right? Because you know it's gonna be bad when I say just a quick question, because they know the situation. They know it's not a good time for a question, but they think that you know what? Let's just move on to the cheese quiz.
Just a quick question. I'm not going to take up your time.
We're running a bit low on time, guys. Sorry for running a bit low on time.
But James the other day was telling me that his Grim Tales book had just come through the mail, and I have some questions about that, James.
Is only if it's a quick question.
Oh, just a quick question.
Just a quick question.
So like, you know how like there's a book, right? What's it called? Something about Grim. Does this make sense?
So tell us, James. Tell us what Grim Tales is.
Oh, well.
Whether you'd recommend it so far.
It's a bunch of stories from the Brothers Grimm. So I'm guessing their last name's Grimm. And they're just like the regular fairy tales, but they're all messed up because that's how they originated. Because they wanted, instead of teaching kids good values through like nice stories, they taught kids good values through like stories of people getting really like just messed up. So yeah, and I've read 2 stories so far. I've read the Lazy Harry, which was just like one guy who got paid by walking his cows, and then he got too lazy to walk his cows, so he bought chickens so he could sell the eggs. He then got too lazy to have the chickens, and he just sold them for bees. And then at one point he stopped looking after the bees, and then they all died, and he couldn't have any more money anymore. And that's the story of Lazy Harry. That
Wow,
one was
that really shook me to the bones. That was a really deep and
You
meaningful
know, I
story.
really relate to that story for
yeah,
some
that's
reason.
crazy.
Hitting a bit too close to home.
But the second one that I thought was amazing is there was a story called Hans the Hedgehog.
Hans,
You know,
I like it. Go on.
That one was basically, it's a guy. I mean, a guy. He wanted a son because he had no children, and he said he would have any son, even if it was a hedgehog. And he happened to have a son, and half of him was from his legs down was human, and then up was just a hedgehog. And so the story goes on, and the father hates his son because he's a hedgehog, and every time people go near him, they just get pricked. So when the son grows old enough, he just kicks him out. And so the hedgehog, he steals all of his father's like animals, all the pigs, and he gets his rooster, a giant rooster, and rides it to the forest. And it keeps getting weirder. So he then hangs out in the forest, and then I think he just plays music for people who pass by. And at one point, a random king walks by and asks the hedgehog for directions. And because he thinks the hedgehog can't read English, he makes a deal with the hedgehog to give him the person whoever he meets first at the castle. So the hedgehog shows him where his kingdom is, and his daughter rolls up and meets the king. And the king gets sad because he has to give his daughter away. But then he realizes that he faked the whole signature because he thought the hedgehog can't read, and so the hedgehog leaves.
And that's it.
Nope, it keeps going.
Oh, okay.
Another king shows up, and then this time the king's nice. He actually gives the right. He actually makes a real contract with the hedgehog, and the hedgehog takes him back to his kingdom, and then his daughter also shows up and greets the king, and he also gets sad. But the hedgehog leaves immediately because he says he'll take his prize another day. But what the book doesn't tell you is that the hedgehog, he started breeding all the pigs, so he's now got a bunch of pigs just roaming the forest. He then takes all those pigs and his giant rooster and invades his old village where his dad is. And then he basically slaughters the whole village who used to make fun of him.
All right, well,
Holy crap.
I know. And then it gets worse. He then
how
returns
does
to
it
the
keep going? Why is there so much
he
depth
go-
to a story about a hedgehog?
And
don't
then
understand. Why is
he returns to his original. He returns to the first kingdom, where the king promised to give his daughter. He then invades it with all his pigs and manages to take it over. And the king, who's in a distraught state, gives his daughter and forces her, look, I made a deal with this weird ass hedgehog. Here, you can just go with the hedgehog. And the girl comes out. She's all in a white dress. The hedgehog then rips off all her clothes and pricks it all around her body so that she's bleeding from all over. And then so he leaves that kingdom, returns back to the second kingdom, and marries the daughter of the other king. Then, as soon after their first night, he sheds his skin and the hedgehog stuff comes off, and he becomes a real human.
Oh, jeez.
You know what
That's
that
the
story
end.
reminds me of? It reminds me of the quick question that was asked. It just keeps going on. It makes no sense. I don't know
He
what's
became
happening.
a real boy.
Yep, he became a real
hedgehog-
human at the end. But
The
at what
I
hedgehog
admire the
managed to make a pig
creativity.
army. You know what? At this point, I think it's time to move on to the final and most ever done segment of the show.
Okay. On
Really?
that bombshell, it's time to end this night. Okay. I'm going to play First Date by Blink-182, and when we come back, we'll play Gee Whiz, It's a Cheese Quiz, where James here will take on the challenge. Stay
Yeah,
tuned.
before we go, just a quick question.
Yes.
So there's this hedgehog, right? And
Yeah.
so basically, he has a head of a hedgehog, but the
Um,
legs of like.
Head and body of a hedgehog, but his legs are just a normal human.
Okay, so is this like a big? You know what? Because we're running out of time here. I feel like I should take be responsible and not hold up the entire class by continuing to ask a question, which I can ask in my own time by email.
I have
Okay.
no clue.
All right. Blink 182. Enjoy. Do you copy?
What's up?
Welcome back to
Affirmative.
the WAM show on Radio Monash. You were listening to First Date by Blink 182. If you liked it.
I like it.
Thanks, James. I
I
really
want to
appreciate
be
it.
honest with you, Cameron. I don't actually listen to the music between the breaks.
Apparently, there's a way to do that, but I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the final leg of the show. Today, we have James McDonald.
Cut out, man.
You cut out in the middle of that.
Not
What did
even
I-
the
You said
internet-
G.
Not even your internet connection wants. G.
I'm quite far away from the router, so that kind of stuff happens. But yeah, welcome to Gee Whiz, It's a Cheese Quiz, where a guest comes on and they answer 5 questions and they either get $20 or they go home sad. Last week, Bree came on and she knocked the 5 questions I thought of at 1 a.m. out of the park, unfortunately. And she walked
She
home with
completely
$20.
blew the budget of the show.
But I honor the agreement, and she has $20. So, well done to her.
Nearly bringing
But
it
today-
to the only cash prize segment the show will ever have.
But by this time, a new contestant's here, Mr. James McDonald. How do you
Yeah.
feel? You've been here the whole show, but I feel like we haven't really asked you to tell the audience about yourself. So maybe give them a brief. Summary.
Unlike the hedgehog story, please keep it brief.
Tell us about yourself, mate.
I do engineering. I am sad.
What?
Nice and brief.
What's more than that, James? Tell us about your hobbies or something.
I like karate. I like building stuff. I like programming.
I like dancing.
This is a Japanese
Thanks,
speaking
Steven.
class, James. It's not like
Can you
can
string
only
like a
use
proper
one
sentence together or
grammar
like
pattern.
send
I
that
mean-
to RMIT?
Oh yeah, I go to RMIT. That's something. And I push trolleys. And I edit the show.
Yeah, he's a foreigner. He's a tourist.
Although I went to that one, the engineering thing with you, so technically I've done a Monash class.
Yeah, they gave CPD hours to Jamal. How good is that?
Crazy.
Yeah. So perfect Saturday. Saturday. Tell us, what's your perfect Saturday?
I don't know. Well, is it pre-corona or during corona?
So-
Anytime.
Listen, James, we're running out of time.
Actually, scrap that.
So
we need
stop
10
all these
minutes now.
questions.
All right. Cheers,
Okay,
please.
so today, even though you told me let's do Gouda, I couldn't do Gouda because you told me you wanted Gouda.
I wanted
So-
Gouda.
So I had to make a Swiss cheese. Are you happy with
Yeah, that's good. Swiss cheese has holes.
that? Oh,
Kind of like
Kind of like that book and my brain. All right, let's go.
all right. So first question, and you already know it's got holes in it, so that's good. Swiss cheese is famously known for its holy appearance, where the holes are called eyes. Our question is, why does it have such an appearance?
Holy.
Is it A, cheesemakers purposely cut holes into the cheese for cultural reasons? B, in the cheese-making process, oxygen creates small pockets of air within the cheese that burst when it is cut. Yeast, or C, yeast is added to the cheese, which then consumes the cheese from the inside. Or D, carbon dioxide bubbles from inside the cheese then burst when the cheese is sliced?
Or definitely is an A. But people wouldn't just put holes in cheese. I don't think it's C because yeast wouldn't spread that much. So it must be B or D. I think D, since usually bacteria is common in cheese and they produce CO2. So yeah, D.
All right.
Moving straight into question 2. Look forward to some more of my famous European pronunciation.
Oh God, no.
Which of these is not a type of Swiss cheese? A. Emmental. B. Vagella. C. Appenzella. Or D. Sprins.
All right. Emmental didn't sound like the rest, so whatever one that was, I think that was A.
All right, question 3. Let's go.
All right, question 3. It's a bit long. Although not related to Swiss cheese completely, there is a scientific model named after Swiss cheese, named the Swiss cheese model. This model shows how when black holes get too close to one another, they combine and slowly consume the galaxy, giving the galaxy a Swiss cheese-like appearance. B. How when materials are reversed of solid solution strengthening, the atoms form a Swiss cheese-like structure. C. How a standard slice of Swiss cheese, the holes in the cheese comprise of more than 60% of the slice. Or D. How errors line up to cause big catastrophic outcomes when there is a series of small mishaps that occur in a sequence.
Yeah, I think I know this one. It's D, since it's in like.
All right,
computers.
cool. Moving on.
All right.
Question 4. In 2002, the USDA, the United States Department of Agriculture or some shit, reduced the legal size of holes in Swiss cheese by 50%. What was their reason? A. Machinery struggled to cut the Swiss cheese with these big holes. B. Consumers were unhappy that there were more holes in the cheese. C. Bigger holes meant more harmful bacteria had potential to grow. D. The bigger the holes were, the worse it tasted.
Well, I don't think it's D, since that's kind of dumb. B is also kind of dumb, but I mean it's America, so I can't take that out of consideration. I think it's C, since I don't think the more.
All right,
Yeah,
moving
probably
on.
C. Actually, no. A.
Question.
A.
Right,
Yeah.
you changed it?
A.
Okay.
Yeah, I think A. Wait, what was A again?
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Machinery
Question 5.
struggled to cut Swiss cheese with big holes.
Yeah, probably A, since I don't think bacteria would become more dangerous if it was larger holes or a larger thing.
Interesting.
Okay. Final question. In the cheese making process, there's 3 cultures of bacteria. Our 3 cultures of bacteria are mixed with cow's milk. The 3 cultures are called Lactobacillus, Lactobacillus.
Why do you choose these questions?
And
Okay,
the
why
final-
don't you
the
give
last
me the
culture.
bacteria names, considering that's my major?
All right, you say these.
S.
And the third culture is
Spermopilus, Lactobacillus, and A. P. Candidu umani, B. P. Sufferimi, C. P. Shamani, D. P. Baccalaureani.
How am I?
Just choose a letter, mate. We don't have
Alright.
time.
P. Sherman. Peabody and Sherman. Yeah, P. Sherman.
C it
That sounds
is.
funny.
P. Sherman. Is that
P.
like a
Sherman.
neighbor?
I thought that was like Peabody and Sherman. That show. That's funny.
Starting straight from the top right. Question 1, you chose D. So that carbon dioxide bubbles formed the holes in the cheese.
Yep.
Which is correct. Congratulations.
Yeah.
They do burst when it's cut.
You've done better than Cameron did on his environmental assignment.
4.
Question 2. Which of these is not a type of Swiss cheese? You chose A, which is Emmental. Emmentai. It was actually B, Vagella. Loser.
Crazy. I.
You lost $20. Thank you. I'm already in debt from the last
The
one.
question really saved us. be honest.
Question 3. What the cheese is a model.
Yep.
Swiss cheese is used as a model to explore how areas line up to cause big catastrophic outcomes when there is a series of small mishaps that occur in a sequence. You selected D. That is correct as far as I know. Yes,
Yeah.
no, yep.
Yep, should be.
That
So
is
you've,
correct.
you've scored 2 out of 3. Thankfully, you've already lost.
Oh.
3 to 8 amount. You should feel bad about yourself. Question 4. Why did the USDA make the holes smaller? You selected A, as the machines struggle to cut cheese with bigger holes. That was correct.
Yes.
Question 5. Some ridiculous thing about bacteria. You chose C,
The 3
Well,
cultures.
Peabody and Sherman. You're correct.
Yes. Oh,
So you scored 4 out of 5. Cameron nearly blew it again.
that's a
I
HD.
Thankfully,
I did, but luckily I put in that question too. And I did make this at 12 o'clock as well, or 1 a.m. So it was just, that's why it was so bad. I really went crazy with the Swiss cheese one.
I
Swiss
don't
cheese model.
understand because it's not like a surprise that it's going to be happening soon. Like, it happens every week.
But I still leave it to the last minute just because I can.
Oh.
Well, thank you,
So,
James.
yeah. Thanks for playing,
Losing.
James. Thanks for
Oh.
coming on today.
I should have. What was the answer to 2?
It was Vachsela.
Vagella.
All right. There was no way.
I made that one up. That was very legit.
That's the only one I can pronounce, though.
It's cheesy. Nigella.
Vagella.
And yeah, so we leave the floor to you, James. Any thoughts you want to leave the audience with, or things you want to plug? It's the time.
Good luck with the exams. Subscribe to the WAM show. Buy Ignite Fitness clothings.
No.
Thank you, Mom. And yeah, that's it.
Very cool. That was G-Wiz. It's the cheese quiz. You've been
An
listening
abbreviated
to
cheese quiz.
on Radio Monash. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week at 5 o'clock on Monday. Goodbye for now. I'll be
Bye-bye.
playing Beat It, and then after that, it's random music. Enjoy.